Libra, be careful, you will have a serious problem with a man. This didn't happen to you by chance. The friction you feel with this man today has a root you haven't yet named. Your body already knows it. That tightness in your chest before replying to his message, that urge to maintain peace even while swallowing what hurts inside. Perhaps you've already tried to explain it as stress, a bad phase, incompatibility. But there's a detail no one has told you until now. If you don't understand what's being tested in this relationship, that same pattern will return with a different face, another man, another name, the same weight. Stay with me until the end, because what I'm going to show you changes how you see this man, and especially how you see yourself within this story. You will understand why this specific friction has an origin that isn't personal. You will recognize the 4 signs that were already warning you about it, even before you paid attention. You will discover a pattern with a name and the hidden layers behind it. You will see yourself in an image that may have described you for years without you knowing it. And in the end, Libra, I will tell you a truth that carries the weight of all this. What he carried to you is no greater than what you already know how to give back. Pay attention to your breathing now. It's shorter than it should be, isn't it? That's how the body signals before the mind understands. It's not about him being difficult. It's not about you being too sensitive. It's about a balance that's been tipping to the same side for longer than you realize. There's a visible pain in it, the recurring misunderstanding, the demands that never seem fair, the heavy silence after a conversation that should have eased things but only made them worse. But behind this visible pain lies something that doesn't have the face of a villain. Nobody here is the villain in your story, Libra. Not even him. What weighs between you two is the energy of imbalance that has found in this bond the closest channel to pass through. And what prevents you from seeing this is the fear of seeming unfair. The old habit of silencing your pain to maintain peace. You called it nitpicking. The universe called it a limit test. You called it being overly sensitive. The universe called it a scale trying to realign itself. Every time you hold your breath before replying to his message, that's not fear of him. It's your body shielding itself from what hasn't yet been said. Every time you replay the same conversation in your head late at night, trying to understand where one side weighed more, that's your inner Libra trying to rebalance a scale that was never solely yours. Every time you smile to maintain peace and feel your stomach clench at the same time, your peace shouldn't cost you your truth. And if someone has ever commented that you're tougher lately, and it sounded like an accusation, Libra, that's the first sign that you're stopping carrying weight that isn't yours. Have you ever felt that no matter how much you give in, adjust, or try to balance things, there's a tension with this man that never truly resolves, that only changes form? What if what you call incompatibility, or a bad phase, or simply daily stress, is actually a sign that the universe is trying to show you the weight you carry for another person? While many think that such friction is just the hustle and bustle of life, few realize that he may be carrying someone else's burden, an old pattern and a scale asking for rebalancing. But what if the big turning point lies in a revelation you haven't yet been able to apply? Every swallowed silence, every concession without reciprocity, every night replaying the same conversation, every forced smile just to keep the peace. Libra, the weight that seemed to be sinking you is exactly the same weight that, when returned, will make you float. While searching for answers to these reflections, I found this digital book called The 12 Laws of the Universe that help each zodiac sign overcome spiritual envy. More than just a simple read, it brings together teachings, interpretations, and exercises for you to understand the pattern of borrowed weight, break the cycle of absorbing others' imbalance, and strengthen the balance that exists within you. Many Librans are already feeling this relief, but access to the digital book may be taken down at any moment. It's available in the first pinned comment. Don't wait for another conversation to get stuck in your throat before seeking protection. Click now, download your copy, and discover why these 12 laws can become the map that returns you to your own balance. Because the weight they tried to make you carry may be exactly the proof that you are too strong to continue serving as a conduit. If that first word touched you in any way, write "I return the weight" below. Not for me, but because another Libra who is exactly where you were a year ago needs this message to reach them tonight. There is a way to do this without guilt, without confrontation, and without breaking who you are. And before I show you that path completely, I need to tell you something that only someone who has carried this kind of weight can recognize in another person's reflection. Take a deep breath before continuing, Libra. What comes next explains everything that came before. There's a pattern, and it has a name. But before the name, there are 4 signs that were already speaking to you. The first, you hold your breath a second before replying to his message. It's not the content of the message that makes you tense. It's the anticipation. Your body already knows it will need to readjust. This isn't fear of him. It's shielding on one side of your body that has already understood it needs to protect itself before you understand why. The second sign, you replay the same conversation in your head late at night, trying to understand where one side weighed more. You reconstruct sentences, adjust what you said, imagine what you could have said differently. This isn't obsession, it's your inner Libra, the one born to balance, trying to rebalance a scale that was never solely yours to carry. The third sign, you smile to keep the peace, and at the same time feel your stomach tighten. This is your body saying what your mouth doesn't yet have the courage to say, and your peace, Libra, should never cost you your own truth. The fourth sign, someone recently commented that you're tougher, and you felt that as an accusation, as if you were doing something wrong. But I need to tell you, this is the first sign that you're stopping carrying weight that was never yours. For some of you, this burden appeared with a partner. For others, it appeared with a father who never knew how to express his feelings, or with a boss who unconsciously releases tension, or even with a sibling who always expected more than they offered. The face changes, the pattern doesn't. You called it a bad phase with him. The universe called it borrowed weight passing by. You called it your weakness. The universe called it strength, holding back a siege that was never meant to be held back. There is a path of protection, and I will open it now. Before the name, before the word, because whoever carries a burden that is not theirs needs relief before receiving the revelation. Stay. There's an old name for that. And it is precisely here that the path to protection opens up. I'm not here to sell you an empty promise, Libra. I'm here because I know this weight intimately, the weight of holding a scale that was never just mine either. And it was in seeking to understand this that I arrived at an answer that I need to share with you now. Every silence you swallowed to avoid conflict, every time you gave in, even knowing it wasn't fair. Every night the same conversation kept revolving around, never truly resolving anything. This has a name, and it carries weight. And that weight wasn't born with you. It was something you inherited. While searching for answers to this pattern, I found this digital book called The 12 Laws of the Universe that help your zodiac sign overcome spiritual envy. Inside it, there's a principle I need to tell you now because it explains everything you felt so far. Not all the weight you feel comes from you. Some weights only pass through those closest to you. This book doesn't promise to erase the man from your life, nor to teach you how to argue better. It teaches you to cut the invisible thread that carries this weight to you, to understand the repeating pattern, to break the cycle of absorbing the imbalance of others, and to strengthen the balance that exists within you so that it never again tips to the wrong side without you realizing it. I've seen Libras, Brazilian Sign Language, who spent years thinking the problem was incompatibility, bad luck, a rough patch, and discovered too late that the problem never had a specific person's name. It was a siege, and a siege, Libra, is broken. It's not argued about. This setting doesn't wait. The window that opens now, the window to recognize this pattern before it returns with a different face, doesn't stay open for long. It closes as soon as you return to your routine and forget what you felt here. It's not about carrying more weight. It's about reclaiming what was never yours. Don't wait for the next swallowed silence to seek that complete shielding that maps out all that weight. The 12 laws of the universe that help this zodiac sign overcome spiritual envy are here for that, to give you back the lightness that is rightfully yours. I know you might still be doubting whether this is about you or just another pretty story. But Libra feels. Libra perceives. And what you're feeling now, reading this, is your body confirming what your mind still resists accepting. And now, with the path before you, the name descends. What comes across to you through this man has a name, the borrowed weight pattern. It exists in 3 layers. The first is visible, the friction, the demands, the heavy silence after a conversation that should have eased things, but only tightened them. The second layer is the energy he carries without even knowing he carries it. Because often, Libra, the man who confronts you, is simply passing on a weight that isn't his either. And the third layer, the most important, what only you can let go of, because it was never yours to hold on to. Imagine a scale. On one side, your effort, your dedication, your constant attempt to keep everything in balance. On the other side, a fist insistently pressing down without even realizing it's pressing down. This scale didn't tip over because you did something wrong. It tipped over because someone at some point placed weight where it shouldn't have been, and you, being who you are, absorbed it. There's an image that you may have been describing for years without knowing how to name it. The besieged fortress that doesn't fall. Imagine ancient stone walls surrounded for months with no reinforcement from the outside, no water entering, and yet still standing. Because every stone of that fortress was built from within, not borrowed from anyone. That's exactly where you are now, Libra. And every fortress that withstands a siege long enough sees the siege recede first. There is a Libra woman who carried for months the tension of a man who never clearly stated what he wanted from her. She yielded. She adjusted. She remained silent until she realized that the weight she felt wasn't the true size of the problem between them. The day she stopped absorbing and began to return, calmly, without guilt, the friction lost its strength before she even uttered another word. Look at your jaw now, Libra. It's clenched, isn't it? It's your body still holding on to what your mind has already understood. This doesn't come from me, Libra. It comes from you, traversing yourself to get here, and the universe observes every fortress that resists without asking for help. It saw you holding your breath before replying to his message in the middle of the night. And what it's telling you now is this: the scales that tip to the same side for too long will one day realign themselves, because energy that isn't yours has no roots to stay. The deepest truth lies ahead, and it has your name. Now that the name has been released, Libra, it's time to name who you become when you return that weight. There are 3 versions of yourself waiting to be recognized. The first is the guardian of the just wall, the one who protects their own territory without needing to attack anyone. The second is the sentinel of balance, the one who sees the scales before anyone else notices they've tipped. The third is the Libra who returns to sender, the one who has finally learned that borrowed weight has an owner, and that owner is not them. These 3 versions of you have always existed. What has changed is that now you have names for them. Don't wait for the scale to tip again before recognizing which of these 3 versions already resides within you. Sustaining the strength you already possess doesn't require more effort. It requires clarity. And that's exactly what the 12 laws of the universe that help your zodiac sign overcome spiritual envy help you see in its entirety which archetype is yours and how to strengthen it before the next burden appears. There's a rescue to be done here, Libra. The promise I made you before that you would recognize these 3 versions is being fulfilled now. And with them come 3 tactics, 3 weapons for you to use whenever you feel the weight trying to cross over again. The first, name the burden aloud. Say, "This isn't mine," and place your hand on your chest as you say it. The second, compensate with silence. Take a deep breath before responding instead of swallowing. The third, return it to the sender energetically. Open your hands, let go, as if returning something borrowed without knowing. When you swallow what you feel, when you give in again, even unwillingly, when silence becomes routine, that's when the siege grows faster. But the complete map to return this weight to its sender already exists, Libra. And it's within the 12 laws of the universe that help this zodiac sign overcome spiritual envy. I'm not rushing you, I'm warning you. Don't wait for the next borrowed weight to knock on your door before you learn to recognize the sound of it coming. Adjust your posture now, Libra. Relax your shoulders. Let your hands rest in your lap. What comes next requires your full presence. Close your eyes if you can. Imagine a thin, silvery thread connecting your chest to this man's chest. A thread that carries weight on only one side. Now imagine your own calm hand holding a pair of scissors of light. There is no anger in this gesture, only clarity. You cut the thread slowly and feel the warmth returning to your body, your own, for the first time in a long time. Release now everything you absorbed without asking. Release the swallowed silence. Release the repeated late-night conversation. Release the smile that cost too much and activate in return the guardian of the just wall, the sentinel of balance, the Libra that returns to sender, the same 3 that already live within you. Before sealing this, write below the name of someone you're carrying on this journey. Or if it's for yourself, write in 1 sentence what you're hoping the universe will give back to you. I'll read it, and you won't be writing this alone. Don't release that energy yet. We're not finished. Stay with me. What we've seen so far covers 3 areas of your life, Libra. The burdensome attachment, the nameless recurring pattern, and the strength you've always possessed, even without knowing it. I saw you holding your breath before replying to his message in the middle of the night, and I need to tell you what that means. You were never weak for feeling that weight. You were too strong for carrying alone something that was never yours. The scale that has tipped to the same side for so long has begun to realign itself, not because someone changed, but because you stopped compensating for the imbalance of others. And the siege that tried to use this connection as a conduit is receding, slowly, just as every fortress sees the siege that insists too much retreat. Naming the weight, ceasing to compensate with silence, returning it to sender. These 3 weapons are already yours, Libra. They need no further explanation. Just use. It's not yours. 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 Libra, repeat this until you feel it in your body, not just in your mind. It doesn't let go yet. I saw you holding your breath before replying to his message in the middle of the night. And that's exactly when I understood I needed to tell you about the 12 laws of the universe that help your zodiac sign overcome spiritual envy. This digital book isn't about fixing a man, nor about winning an argument. It's about giving you back what has always been yours. Your balance, your strength, your priceless peace. Don't wait for tomorrow to test the protection you've built today. The window that has opened here, in this configuration, won't wait for you indefinitely, and maintaining the wall erected during this journey requires company, not solitude. If this video has touched you in any way, there's a community of Libras, Brazilian Sign Language, users recognizing this same pattern, sharing their feelings, and strengthening each other. Nobody here is a villain, not him, not you, not whoever comes after. Just energy seeking its way back home. And there is a second weight, Libra, one that you carry, and it didn't come from any man. I'll show you where it came from in the next video. The scale that has tipped to the same side for so long is now finding its center again. Remember the silver thread you cut a moment ago. It won't reform on its own, only if you allow it. And you no longer allow it. Now, Libra, you can let go. What he brought to you was never greater than what you already know how to give back.